talking about Converse, I got the new Undercover Converse that had just came out this season, the Disorder Order shoes. These are awesome. These are a Chuck 70 silhouette, so they've got the super high rise on the foxing, the really thick rubber sole on the bottom, so they're super comfortable to walk around in. They're awesome shoes. This red colorway that I ended up picking up is super unique. They came in a bunch of unique ones: black, red, yellow, white with a red cap, and all the like details in regards to like a Chuck 70 really pop out when in this really vibrant colorway. The really high foxing, really thick laces, it all just kind of comes together. It's got that white rubber toe protector at the front, and then the really cool, you know, undercover touch is that it says order on one toe cap and disorder on the other toe cap. Really cool detail. I like that whole motif that they bring to the table. I'm glad I remembered these. I was about to not even include them in the video, so I'm glad that I put them in. You know, this video might be so long that I just split it into 2 parts, but I'll be reflecting on it after I make the video just into 2 parts. I've got 2 parts to work with. And then getting into something that was really hyped just a little bit ago and actually spun my entire wardrobe into a new route is the Acronym Presto. This is the cool gray colorway from the most recent Acronym release that they just did. The whole new Presto pack. It came in the racer pink, the dynamic yellow, and the cool gray. Racer pink was the most popular colorway. I legitimately thought that these were the best colorway just because, you know, it's classic Acronym, just black, white, gray, and all that sort of stuff, and they work well with the wardrobe accordingly. And because I definitely tend to lean more towards black shoes, like a huge majority of the population, I decided to go towards these two, and they ended up being like the least popular actually out of the bunch. Not a lot of people like them, but I really did. It's got the sock-like lining to keep your foot in there, a Acronym branded cage on the outside, an Acronym tape that goes around the entire like calf portion of the shoe, Acronym branded toe cap. It's got the Duralon sole, which is super comfortable to walk on, and it's got the insane Acronym detailing at the back because it's a mid Presto. It zips up on both sides with this little pull zip so that you can get it all the way up. Don't take that the wrong way, and then you can flip the zippers down so that they lock into place and don't fall down while you're walking around. So it's a really cool pair of shoes. I really like Acronym. I've really been getting into that brand as of recently, and techwear more in general. I definitely do tend to lend my hobbies and all that sort of stuff more towards like Japanese culture and like cyberpunk culture and all that sort of stuff. That's kind of always what I've been allured to. Whether it was like Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind, with that dystopian vibe, or Akira, or anything in between. I feel like Acronym reflects that sort of cyber future feel in a really unique way. So I'll have some videos about Acronym in the near future. But these are a great shoe. They definitely are like a hype shoe, and I got them for more than I should have. But I'm super happy to have them regardless, because these things are definitely worth the money. All right, now I have a lot of like fancy shoes. I really like my boots and I really like my derbies, but I have some other shoes that are in that same realm, not quite the same. First one I get to talk about, the Doc Marten 1461 Low Derby. These things are awesome. They are super versatile, and they are a fantastic chunky soled derby shoe that I think everybody should own. I know a lot of fashion and a lot of clothes nowadays are definitely going more towards a sartorial type of look, whether Raf is putting more suiting down the runway along with Hetty's new Celine line, which has mixed reviews as well. Tailored looks are definitely kind of coming a little bit back after the huge wave of casual streetwear sweatpant look that we've been saturated with for the last few years, but these definitely fit into the realm of a more fancy look, but also being very familiar as a, you know, very casual shoe too, and I love that about these. They're durable as hell. They definitely take a little bit to break in, but they look great lived in, and they're a fantastic shoe. Can't really go wrong with Docs, and there's really not much to be said. You can pretty much find them anywhere. The unique thing about these is that they're the PW colorway, so they don't have the yellow stitching around the whole shoe, which I actually really like. Doc 1461s, my guy, my dude. Getting onto another pair of derbies. These definitely don't get as much wear as those, just because of how kind of specific they are and how old they are at this point. But these are the opening ceremony derby. I don't think that there's a more specific name for these guys. I got these on Grail ages ago. Full suede upper, so it's a little bit more casual than your classic full leather upper, and it's got a patent leather lining that goes around the entire foot opening of the shoe, waxed laces. It's got a full brown contrast leather sole, which is beat to crap. Holy hell, I need to go to a cobbler. But they've got a completely flat sole, so it has definitely a more unique look compared to the Doc heeled variant that we saw. Now we move on to the boots, and these are some of the more proud items that I have in my closet. Some of my other shoes, like the Ricks and the Robert Clergerie shoes, are expensive and definitely on the upper end of what I've spent, but some of these boots are in that realm as well. But these are definitely not expensive. These are my H&M combat boots that I got for $5. Yeah, I got them for $5. They were hanging on a rack. It said that they were $74 there. I found my size, I flipped the tag over, it said that they were half off. I was like, oh cool. Well, that's definitely worth it for a pair of very interesting looking lug combat boots. Definitely something that you would see in regards to like a nicer silhouette, something that you would see out of like Anne de Mielemeester or like Guidi, Veridian, Julius, that sort of thing. That's why I like these so much. But they're $30 and you can't really beat that. So I took them to the register and she was like, all right, that'll be $9. I have no idea why they were $9. There have been no defects. I've had these things for almost 7 or 8 months. There's been nothing wrong with them in any facet. I don't know why they're so cheap, but they're probably one of my most worth it purchases because I wear these things to death. Freaking death, oh my god. I relaced these so that they reflect the Dior Navigator boot. I really like that look, and on top of that it makes them 10 times easier to get into compared to a classically laced boot. They have the, like I mentioned, lug sole on the bottom, very classic combat look, and really gives these the edge that they need. Just very basic, you know, like H&M leather upper, so not nice at all, but who cares? I'd really like to have a nice pair of boots that reflect the same look. I'm looking at Marcel and a couple of other brands that do a similar vibe. So hopefully that will happen right around Christmas time. But these are cool regardless. And definitely a cool pair of shoes. I don't really recommend going to H&M for any reason. This is actually the only purchase from H&M that I've ever made. Moving on to something I'm a little bit more proud of. These are my Maison Margiela washed chukka boot from ages ago. I got these things back in like 2014 or 15. They're one of my first videos that I've had here on YouTube. Didn't do that well, but they are still one of my favorite shoes. Since then I've had them resoled at the bottom. It has a soft taupey sole on the bottom, so they definitely walk a little bit more comfortably than a more classic leather sole. And the double-edged blade on that is that the sole wears really, really quickly. So I had to have the heel redone because this soft portion on the bottom bit was just gone. The heel was just gone. It was getting up to the harder leather part, so I had to get that completely resoled. But it looks great now. My cobbler did a fantastic job. Like I mentioned in the review, I'm not going to go super in-depth with these, but they have the full washed upper, incredible calfskin construction, definitely a little bit on the larger side. I could probably have gone a size down in these, but they really grasp the heel portion of my foot really well and just have a really large toe. So they definitely have like a more cowboy vibe to them, and I think that that's kind of coming back in with all the Calvin Klein stuff that's been coming out as of recently, as well as some other brands that are entertaining the same aesthetic. Fantastic pair of boots from Maison Margiela. Their quality is fantastic, and I don't agree with anybody who says otherwise, because these boots are awesome. It's been a long ride, guys. My demeanor has probably taken a much more chill downturn because I've been talking for so long. I have had no water. It's like I've been walking through a desert, trying to explain all of these shoes to you in the most articulate way that I can. And we have finally reached the spring that is at the end of this desert. So without further ado, some of my best boots that I own, and I love them dearly, is my Spring Summer 18 Mason Margiela Chelsea boot. My goodness, these things are fantastic. I went and hung out up at the Mason Margiela store this summer while the Spring Summer sales were going on. These were on the rack, and I love these so much. The leather quality on these is fantastic. This is a fantastic example of Mason Margiela quality along with Mason Margiela simplicity. They have the zip on the back more compared to the medial side that typically goes down the inside of your leg, which is a cool, unique detail. You typically see this back zip on a more casual boot, like something you'd see like on a Julius Combat boot or something like that, but on a more like refined Chelsea boot like this with the leather sole and that kind of thing, it's a unique detail, in my opinion at least, but it's still very like a casual, classic kind of look. Incredibly soft calfskin leather upper. It's got a leather outsole as well that I had resoled to a Vibram one, just so that it's a little bit easier to wear and doesn't totally just get beat to crap like the heel portion here. But the leather is completely smooth on the upper, and then funny enough, it's actually got a pebbled heel on the back portion. And it's funny because there's like an inconsistency. It's like it's completely soft on the back of one heel, and it's completely pebbled on the back of the other. And I don't know what that's like about, but I kind of like it. And I don't know, it's just kind of, it's asymmetrical and it looks cool. And I don't know, man, these are just fantastic boots. They remind me of something that I'd see out of Guidi or MA Plus or something along those lines, and they look really great accordingly. Last little detail is that it's got the stitch right there on the back, the Mason Margiela stitch. Great boots, great shoes. Wear these literally for anything. Dress them up, dress them down, anything in between. I fracking love these shoes, my guy. They're great, yes. So now I get to try and clean up all these shoes. This is gonna be so much fun. I love my life. I get to put them all back in my closet now. I don't know if this video is going to end up being 2 videos, just 1 video. I know I talked for a long time about all these shoes, but I'm glad that I was able to kind of stick my foot into the YouTube water again in some way. This is definitely going to be a part of a series where I go over my entire wardrobe, if that is something that you enjoy. And yeah, I'm glad that I was able to share this with you guys. So thank you very much for watching, and I will do my tagline that I've kind of forced into the end of every video since I first started, but that is to stay stylish.